Everybody, welcome to Biology 2420, Introduction to Microbiology for the Health Sciences. So this video will go over the navigation of the course, the syllabus, as well as the actual Blackboard page. So apologies for the delay, but if you're not aware, there's a huge surge in enrollment right now at ACC, so there's been a lot of last-minute shuffling with courses and having to accommodate certain things and adding a lot more online courses. But most of the content is now uploaded and will be populated fairly soon here on my end. But hopefully you all can land onto the main Blackboard page, and there you should be able to select your section of microbiology here. So I'm going to put this in student mode so it looks more like what you see. And the first thing that you'll notice is syllabus and schedule. So we'll start there and then go through the actual sections of the Blackboard page. All right, so of course, this is fall 2025 semester. You should see your specific section number and synonym number. I have two sections of micro along with some other bio courses. And my specific information here, of course, this is a online asynchronous course. So there's no physical office location. We'll be doing that through the Blackboard page. My contact information is here, paul.amador@austincc.edu. That's the best way to reach me for anything that you have as it relates to the course, the school, any questions in general. And the important bit here that will be the same for both my micro sections are the office hours where we can connect face to face, so to speak, through our virtual video conferencing that's built into the Blackboard page. We'll go over that in a bit. And of course, if you want any additional one-on-one appointments can be made. We'll just hash that out through email. But the main office hours for this course will be Tuesday, tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Realized I didn't put the A there, to noon. So that's when I'm here on the Blackboard page, ready to answer any questions you have. Overall, the course description, imagine you all are taking this either for working towards a career in health, so nursing or the dental hygiene program. But overall, it's an introduction to a lot of the basics of microbiology, the different types of microbial organisms and their structures, mainly through a lens of how it relates to human health. And I guess this course itself will not count towards the associate science degree in biology. There are some prerequisites, which make sure that you do meet them here. If you have any questions, reach out to me and we can figure it out if you have doubt over whether a course qualifies for the prerequisite or not. But typically you need at least one of the following courses passed with a C or above. And those are the anatomy and physiology courses, 2404 or 2401 here at ACC, or the cell and molecular biology course, 1406 from ACC. And if you've got credit you're transferring from another institution, we have means of checking the equivalency. So reach out if you are having to justify some of these prerequisites. And there's just a little note here about managing course load if you are pursuing A&P and micro courses, how that can be a bit of a heavy load. So they have a suggested pace for doing these courses. Hopefully you are observing something similar, so you're not overwhelmed by the sheer amounts of content and sort of setting yourself for a much tougher time. So I'll skip some of the more boilerplate stuff as to the student learning outcomes and rationale. Just be aware that it is explicitly stated here on the syllabus. But now getting to the actual course itself, this is a ZTC course, zero textbook cost, which means that you have access to a textbook, which I like a lot and I've used a lot through this organization, OpenStax. I think it's run by Rice University. And so you can view and download the textbook. We'll be using one called Microbiology. They're updated a lot more frequently than traditionally published books. So there's a lot more um, contemporaneous and relevant information. And as the whole section is virtual, there's no, I'm not including any sort of special textbook for the virtual laboratory. And of course, you don't need any PPE either, since you're just mainly watching videos and taking quizzes for that part of it. Um, and I'll show how the textbook is integrated into the Blackboard page when we get to the site navigation bit here. So the class itself, there's no lecture component, no synchronous lecture bit. So it's mainly the textbook and some study guides that help inform what you should look at from the textbook. Those study guides will be very important, and they're one of the critical assignments for being able to be successful on the exams, which I'll talk about what the exams will look like here in a bit. And so I'm keeping it fairly streamlined. This is a 14-week course, so you're already sort of at a bit of a deficit time-wise. But I think the structure is pretty straightforward, and if you pace yourself per the schedule I have set out, I think it's very feasible to not be overwhelmed and keep up with all the assignments. So you've got a textbook, some study guides to help guide the content that you study here, and exams will be the major thing. Lab quizzes will be what I use to test, how well you're grasping the lab sections here, which are mainly just videos and some interactive websites that we go through. And the basic breakdown here for the grading is you've got 4 exams along with an optional final that'll be based on the previous 4 exams. It'll be all multiple choice, and these will all be done through Blackboard. I'm not using any sort of proctoring, because I think that can always be sort of overcome if you're committed enough. So they will be timed, the exams on Blackboard. They're open note essentially. So again, that's why you should really focus on completing the study guides. So you have that as an immediate resource here. And it'll be composed of multiple choice, matching, and essay questions, as well as, as well. I think that's the basic format for all of them. As I mentioned, the final will be all multiple choice. And the timing might be a little bit different for that one, but that's optional. It'll be used to replace your lowest exam grade, or if you missed an exam grade or something, it can make up for that. The study guides are collected, you submit them for completion. So that's really why I want to put the responsibility of making sure you take good notes on you. That's the best way I can sort of gauge how well you're retaining the information and setting yourself up for success in the exams here. The lab quizzes will be pretty straightforward, not long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, just a few multiple choice, maybe some minor essay questions as they relate to the laboratory content. And then finally, just to get a little bit more engagement within the course, we will have 2 discussion board assignments, which I'll announce in a bit here as y'all get through some of the material and we get to maybe some more contemporary topics in microbiology and public health in general. So that'll just be a forum where I'll have a prompt, we all comment on it, and then to get full credit, you'll also have to, reply to 2 other people's posts as well. So I'll go over that in more detail when I sort of decide what the prompt should be, and I'll likely release either a long announcement or a video going over how to actually post on the discussion board and any intricacies about the grading there. So look out for that soon. Otherwise, you can see there's really just 4 different things that you're being graded on. Most of the weighting going towards the exams and the lab quizzes. And a new thing for this year is including an AI policy in the syllabus. So I think mine's fairly general, but the gist of it is that I understand that it's a ChatGPT and other similar AI platforms are pretty valuable for getting the answers quickly. Do so at your own risk, but for the most part, for a lot of sciences, if you want just to look up a simple fact, it's generally okay. That said, you have a textbook to fall back on. Um, but beyond just saying that, I understand that you might use ChatGPT. The important thing are some of these caveats here, that a lot of these platforms that you may use um, are collecting your information. So be wary of whatever information you give on these different platforms, where that may end up, um, as well as the quality of results can vary quite a bit. So it may be a good resource just to look something up quickly. Um, but hopefully you're also keeping up with the textbook, keeping up with the notes, and that'll be a little clearer, more accurate as it relates to the material that you're going to be studying and being tested over, importantly. Um, so if you do have any specific questions about how AI might um, apply to like the discussion board stuff, you can always reach out to me through email, and we'll try and clear up any doubts you may have. Beyond that, um, we're not supposed to take late work, but I do understand sometimes there are certain external circumstances, and so on a one-on-one basis, we can allow, or I do allow for late work for any of the assignments, but you only get 70% credit. But that's with my approval. You can't just submit something late. It has to be a discussion before we decide to accept it or not. But I will accommodate that if that's necessary. Outside of that, we've got some important dates here for withdrawals and drops. So the last date to withdraw before the official reporting date, so without the W, is September 19th. The final withdrawal date is November 20th, and that's where you get a W on your record. And I think per Texas, the state of Texas, if you have 6 of these W's, of these withdrawals, um, I yeah, you can't, I think, re-enroll in classes. I think that's sort of the limit that they impose. So be conscientious about any classes you withdraw. Sometimes it may be better to fail, just for the sake of not crossing this 6 drop rule. Let's see. And then maybe all of the relevant information for the course. Now, I've got the course schedule up on the syllabus, and I'll be updating that soon and having it directly on the Blackboard. And I'll be updating it as if things do change for whatever reason, if there's any sort of climate disaster or people lose power. That's happened before, where you have to push due dates a bit. Um, but I've got a week by week resolution here for the course schedule for the 14 weeks, and which chapters you should be reading. So that's a suggested pace. Once the information or the content is on the website, you can feel free to complete it at your own pace. But the basic way that this schedule is structured is you've got the chapters that you're responsible for, the labs that you need to complete, and then what items are due by the last date of this chunk here. So by the end of week 4, which will be Sunday, October 5th at 11:59 p.m., exam 1 will be due, along with submission of your completed study guides and any lab quizzes that relate to these labs. So it'll be one lab quiz that relates to all of these labs. I'll be posting that soon as well, and as well as populating the remainder of the labs. But yeah, this would be a good resource just to make sure that you're on pace with the course. I also saw that with the new Blackboard Ultra, or with the updates, there's a calendar automatically that I think sends you reminders, which I think you can toggle for how early you want the reminder, on like your own settings or something. So you can see all the due dates on the Blackboard calendar as well. And I can navigate over to that in a sec here when we get to the actual page. So yeah, that schedule is very important there. And just some other sort of boilerplate information about testing centers and email policies, but that doesn't really apply too much to this online class here. So with that, I'll move over to the rest of the Blackboard page. As I mentioned, this is a ZTC course. So to access the textbook through OpenStax, I've got a link directly on the Blackboard page. If you click on that, it'll take you to the specific section with our microbiology book. You can download a PDF, maybe print it yourself. You can buy a print copy, but I think that's like 45 bucks. Um, in black and white, if you want full color, that's $55. But uh, you can also just view it online through the website or download it as a PDF and then view it however you'd like. So you have a few options here that don't include spending extra money on books. And let's see if we can go to the online section here. I got some pop-ups. But yeah, so you can see on the left here, you've got the table of contents. You can see by chapter, all the sub-chapters as well. So it's not too difficult to navigate that. And ideally, you have your study guide with you so you know which chapters, which sections, which questions should be uh, focused on as you complete that document there. So that's the textbook. And of course, you got the link right there. It's also in the syllabus if you noted that. And as I mentioned, study guides are really what are going to help steer your studying, they'll guide your study, as it were. And these I have uploaded as Word documents. Now you can save your own copy and complete it on the documents on the Word doc itself, or you can feel free to print out the pages, draw them, and then just take a picture and upload those. But you can see there are pretty simple, just questions, definitions to go over. Really not too long. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 study guides here. And by that first due date, before exam one or including exam one, the study guides are all submitted through this assignment link here. You can view instructions. And this is just where you would upload your files, whether it is the Word document or the a picture of you having completed it handwritten. I personally like handwritten notes. It just helps me retain things a little bit more if there's a physical connection to writing, but I know everyone has their own sort of preference here. So I'm, leaving the door open for both as being acceptable. So that's where you get your study guides and turn them in. Office hours are done through this class for Zoom little app that's built into the Blackboard. And in order to join it, you just join, and I'll already be logged on. Feel free to chat, and if I don't notice, but I should notice. And you don't feel obligated to turn your camera on or anything. I'll have my camera on likely, but I just want to make it as easy for you to sort of feel encouraged to attend office hours if you have any questions. I do have a Blackboard and stuff as well as whatever digital Blackboard there is here, so I can make that. So I am well equipped to teach or go over any things in general here. And I do have a pretty solid microbiology background. I've been teaching this course online, hybrid, full face-to-face for like 7 years at ACC now. So I feel pretty confident in microbiology and molecular biology in general. My background is more in pharmaceutical and biotech, so not so much nursing or dental hygiene, but I do have enough experience teaching this course that I feel I know what is most relevant, at least to the academic part of your career. So yeah, with that said, office hours, the hours were posted in the syllabus. I believe they were Tuesday, 1:30 to 3, and Wednesday, 10:30 to 12 or something. I forget. It's on the syllabus. But yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, and all you have to do is press join. It'll take you there. I'm not gonna do that now because that'll take me out of my current recording Zoom session. But moving on, we've got the lab section. So we've got the first chunk of labs uploaded, and these are just general. Each folder has resources for that specific lab. So one of them is just a safety video for the basics of operating safely in a lab. We've got microscopy, freshwater microbes, aseptic transfer. So it's mainly videos and some PowerPoints to go over. And soon, apologies that it's not up now, but soon I'll have the quiz that'll test on all of these. That'll be due on that first due date, which is October 5th. Um, so look out for that. I'll include announcements as well. And beyond that, I've got the exams will be in this folder. I haven't put exam one up yet, but that'll be up soon as well. Again, I'm not using any of the proctoring software. It'll just be through Blackboard timed, but if you have an accommodation that requires more time, that's accounted for here. And you'll have open notes. And where I really get tested is and see the quality of your note taking is in the multiple choice, but essay questions also give you an opportunity to see how well you can um, I don't want to say regurgitate, but express what you've gone over in these notes and lab sections. The exams will only cover what's on the study guide, so not the stuff that's in the labs. The labs are got graded entirely by the lab quizzes, so don't worry too much about retaining the lab stuff for sake of the exam. Um, but other than that, uh, those are the main sections there. Um, I think you've got some just generic resources here for the course evaluation, online tutoring that's offered through ACC. They have their own sort of ecosystem that you can access here. And then just some general information about ACC and certain protocols and policies. So feel free to explore that. But if you have any questions, that's what I'm here for. And even if I don't know the answer, I can maybe maybe I'm better suited to sort of find the right person to get the answer. But other than that, that's the web page here. I believe you can see your grades on Gradebook. It just has the one assignment that's up so far, and then the calendar. Let's scroll over to when that first due date is, October 5th. Yeah, should have the due date of so, oh, 5th. Yeah, so it'll tell you when assignments are due on the calendar itself. And again, I think there's some way to set reminders um, about how soon you get a little chirp at you. Don't forget to do this assignment, to turn this in or whatever. Um, yeah. So with that said, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Again, you can do that tomorrow during office hours or through email anytime. Um, Other than that, I hope you all feel empowered now to get into the material and start, cracking the books here. So with that, I'll wrap up this video. Just reiterate, if you do have any questions, concerns, reach out. And I look forward to connecting with you all as we start the semester here. So good luck and, we'll be in touch.